Members, thank you for being here on time.
Please, I am getting ready. So
Yes.
members, you're all welcome to this wonderful webinar. And I'll be showing my video shortly. I'm preparing my laptop to connect very well and be able to share a presentation. It's going to be brief, but amazing in a way that we are going to learn on what WDF does. Remember, this is a monthly reflection meeting where we shall be having different members from different entities presenting about their work and also what they do. This is, do share the link, invite your friends to join so that we can all be able to learn and relearn. Yeah, we look forward to learn from one another. Otherwise, it is a pleasure. Thank you, Joanna, for hosting us today.
I would like to propose that we begin at exactly 15:20.
All right, it is exactly 3:20. You're all welcome to this wonderful webinar, and hope we learn from one another. And by the time we end, please make sure that you take note of all your questions that you have in mind, which you'd like to ask and also know more about what WDF does. So I'll be glad to share more on what we do and how we do what we are doing. It is a pleasure to be here today. My name is Mate Jokas. I work with Willmar Development Foundation Uganda as the team leader. Someone may call that person an executive director. Being a young person, the inspiration comes from how we have grown up in our own communities and also the kind of environment that we have grown in. So it's the inspiration of our mothers, our fathers, that we are able to deliver our mandate in empowering communities and ensuring that the communities that we live in thrive with or without us. Today, we are here to learn more about what young people are doing in their own entities or in their own communities. And then how best can we also be supportive in one way or another? And there are many opportunities outside there, but all these are present, most especially to both the young people and the elderly, for those who are mature, we call them the seniors. But what is the perspective of young people? How are they seen in our communities? Because these are some of the things that we may be ignoring, yet they are very important on what exactly are young people doing that we need to learn from. Then how best can we support them as seniors in order to keep them thriving in their own entities or in their own areas of operation? So we give thanks to the MCLD for, of course, allowing us to be part of the movement and be part of the lead implementers of different projects or programs on board. For example, the Right to Grow project, the program which is aiming at amplifying voices in communities in line with food, nutrition, and wash practices. However, today we are going to learn more about what WDF does and how we do what we are doing. Otherwise, you're all welcome to this learning session. Next time we will be attending yours. So hang in there and please encourage your team to join and learn more about what we do. Back to you, Joanna. I'm seeing our numbers are increasing as we start.
Yes, members, I am really excited because this is our first getting together. And it is such a blessing that we have been able to get such a number. I am delighted we are 10. For me, it is a good number. And going to be doing this on a monthly basis. We will be listening to ourselves, hearing what we do, how we do it, and sharing on the challenges, and possibly helping each other on how we can come on board to support ourselves with basing on our experiences and our knowledge as well as our skills from our organization. So this is a good move that we are taking. I'm delighted we have reached here. MCLD has been doing this since the year began, so we are actually in the back. But it is a good initiative that we have reached to this. There's a time for everything and a time for all of us. I wouldn't want to take a lot more time for Jokas to start on what Willmar Development Fund is. When we come to the end, Jokas will guide us on how to identify, will it be random or should we vote on who comes up next, who doesn't. We will see. But every end of it, I will have a few announcements to make. That is, if there are any. But this time, I will have something to share, and I will be letting what we are coming up with, and we will see how to go about it unanimously, be involved. Thank you very much.
You're all welcome. And my name, once again, is Mate Jokas. I am the team leader for Willmar Development Foundation, Uganda. Willmar Development Foundation, shortly, as I share my screen, is a youth-led organization that aims at empowering or enriching communities in different ways. So we are a team of young people who joined hands all together in order to reach out to those who are in much need more than we do. And we deliver our mandate in different ways, where we were founded in 2014, something that came up as a way how I can help those who actually also help me in one way or another, especially in education. Having been raised up from a humble background, someone which you can call a poor background or a poverty line where you're unable to attend school or university and all that. But this never stopped us from dreaming. And by the time I joined university in 2014 is when I had to think of how best now can we also do the same in helping those that that are actually inspiring us. So Willmar stands for Willingness Matters in Development. That's the meaning of the word Willmar. And then the butterfly stands for transformation, where you begin with an idea until it hatches into something that is meaningful. Who we are is that being a non-for-profit organization, we are mostly focused on empowering underprivileged communities of Uganda and also East Africa at large. Of course, as resources are availed. And our vision, of course, we envision building resilient and self-reliant communities where we want to ensure that everyone, at least those people who are looked at as underprivileged or marginalized, are able to be impacted with a skill. Because if someone has a skill, they will not be able to ask without your presence all the time. We are operating in 3 regions. That is the Western Uganda, that is Kasese, Ntoroko, and Kabarole district. We're also operating in the central, where we're operating in Kampala, Wakiso, and Luero. Kampala being our headquarters, where our office is located. On all these districts, we always have a field office that coordinates different works that we do in that particular area. Then other impacts are also done in the Eastern Uganda, mostly in Mayuge district, Kamuli, and Budaka district, respectively. We're also trying to expand to other areas as resources are availed. Otherwise, if we had the mandate to expand more, we would be in the entire Uganda. But that is not possible because we have other entities like you and me who are actually performing the same activities or the same mandate. We have different entities in Uganda. We have advocates, we have community-based CBO, what you call CBOs. Then you have NGOs of how best we can empower and amplify livelihoods in one way or another. And what we look at here under livelihood is that we move in two. Under livelihood, we look at promoting entrepreneurship, clustered into groups. They can really do something at the end of the day. Then youth empowerment. Here we mostly target young people because they're always having brilliant ideas, but they don't know the how part on how best they can, of course, change the status quo of what they're actually looking at into something that is much better. So as an organization that is youth-led, we also look at empowering young people with a skill that they can be able to utilize and also do something for themselves. So what do we do when it comes to agriculture? Is that under agriculture, we work to ensure that the welfare of our beneficiaries, particularly those in the rural and semi-urban communities, have access to, of course, nutritious foods and also able to know what it means when it comes to cases of malnutrition, food insecurity, when it comes to issues of low agricultural output, high poverty levels, among others. And these, we have been able to address them through different projects. For example, the organic vegetable farming, which we have performed, and also we look at the mushroom growing, resilient poultry farming, now also the food and nutrition awareness. On top of the meals that we are feeding on, of which they are of poor quality. So we go ahead to amplify livelihoods of farming communities by bringing on board approaches that are not changing the way how people farm, but rather we are bringing in resilient farming techniques that are not actually changing the way how people farm, but rather adjusting on what they have been knowing as true to something that is much better. So under this, under organic vegetable farming, since 2018, when we initiated this project, is that we have brought in innovative ideas. For example, grow in a sack campaigns, farm to earn, backyard farming, among others, of which the communities have been able to accept the way how we do it and also have adopted to it. Vegetable farming purely looks at vegetables, for example, cabbages, tomatoes, eggplants, the cucumbers, among others, that take a short gestation period to mature. And we focus on 5 pillars where we look at supporting women and men with the farm inputs, agricultural information, advisory services, and also agricultural processing, be it market access and value chain addition when it comes to agriculture produce. And when it comes to organic farming, that is mushroom growing, this was initiated during lockdown where we had to put in more efforts to bring it closer to the beneficiaries that we are empowering. It has been useful in a way that people have accepted on what we do. And when it comes to mushroom growing, it doesn't need you to move longer distances. You do it from within your home. And the good thing with it that it doesn't require a lot of commitment or a lot of time to attend to them. And this has really been useful when it comes to transforming communities and livelihoods. Why did we introduce these projects is that they are high income generating activities when they are introduced in the community. And when it comes to resilient poultry farming, mostly here we introduced what we call Sasso chicken, which is of course resilient and adaptive to our day-to-day environment. And they're like local chicken, meaning that you don't require a lot of time to get in touch or know more about how they are supposed to be fed. And their feeding habits, they are our community. We have been able to supply more than 1,000 free chicks to our members who have accepted the program. And these are delivered at a no cost because we want to see how best they can reap from there, from these very trainings. So being demonstration practices, we always encourage our farmers or our beneficiaries to go ahead and replicate the same into their own understanding. Because at the end of the day, we're not making these programs for our own benefit, but rather for them to see how best they can learn from them and also do something at the end of the day. The impact is really there, and all right, so we are still talking about agriculture, is that our impact has been really well accepted in different communities that we work with, and the less other resources, because every initiative that we bring on board, it requires funds in order to. We've gone ahead, of course, to seeing our own demonstration farms where farmers are able to learn a skill from what we are putting in place. And we look forward to see more engagements when it comes to climate smart agriculture. Mostly those who are impacted with our programs are mostly women and alongside the men, because we believe in equality and we're not one-sided. So when it comes to women empowerment, here we look more on the women. Remember, Uganda has more of women entrepreneurs, but these are not being empowered enough in a way that everyone can really see the impact that we are making. So what we do as an organization is that 15 to 20, others up to 50, depending on the manpower that we have on board. They have also gone ahead to participate in different projects that we have on board. That is the microfinance project that looks at clustering women into small groups where they are able to save and also pull resources together. Because at the end of the day, the very resources that they pull together, they're able to invest in different small projects that we bring on board. For example, they're able to invest in vegetable growing, they're able to invest in mushroom growing, they're able to invest in poultry farming, of which these can also be done in form of group investments or individual investments, which have been really welcomed in our communities. So far, we've been able to impact over 1,185 women and men through the microfinance project. And alongside other projects, for example, the Women in Business, which looks at providing seed capital on top of the trainings that we provide, financial literacy, provide bookkeeping, because not everyone is a good bookkeeper. So we always, no matter which level they stopped on, because we know that we are dealing with people who have not gone very far, like how we did. So we localize our programming in a way that they are understood by those that we impact, and also they're able to replicate the same with their own communities. That's something that makes us happy when it comes to the Women in Business. And at the moment, we've been able to provide seed capital to at least 100 women to boost their businesses and also income generating activities. Then lastly, when it comes to women empowerment, is the Gbv Prevention. And remember, in the struggle to raise awareness among persons of concern on the need to prevent gender-based violence and also promoting gender equality, among others, survivors or victims are not always heard when it comes to different initiatives. And also working with women, there are different issues that are raised in different communities. So what we do as an organization is that we go ahead to break down the cycle of gender-based violence in these very communities by now bring on board a program that looks at responding to the cases that our beneficiaries are raising in their own communities. And indeed, this has been very useful in a way that it has climaxed with 16 days of activism that we bring on board, especially during that is November 25th to 10th December, where now different actors come on board to support our struggle in changing the narrative. And this year's theme, we are looking at accelerating the promise for survivors. This will be something that we aim to do because it doesn't only look at how far we've gone, but rather looking at how best can we amplify the voices of those that are ignored in our respective communities. Then when it comes to youth empowerment, this one looks at school going and out of school young generation through social entrepreneurship. Young people are always ignored, yet they have brilliant ideas that can be scaled up into something that is meaningful. So what we do as an organization is that we've gone ahead to also bring them on board through our Youth for Investment programs, which targets university scholars basically. And these we have been doing them with other partners, for example, the Uganda Investment Authority, where we've been implementing a project that is Youth for Investment in the universities of Uganda, Makerere, Chambogo, UCU, that's Makerere University Business School, among others, that have embraced the program because it is life-changing, where we bring on board different entrepreneurs like Nixon, who have indeed mastered the art of NGO work or social enterprises, and they're able to share their experience in how best other people like me can really know that, okay, after university, what next? I'm not going to start again looking for a job, but rather utilizing the skill that I already have to do something at the end of the day. Then when it comes to girl, this one basically looks at adolescent girls. And here we look at improving menstrual hygiene through social entrepreneurship, and also looking at rescuing teenage girls who become pregnant at the tender age and they're unable to receive help. So we've gone ahead to establish different centers, be it for Caring Hand Initiative, which looks at children, vulnerable children, of course, orphans, among others, be it the elder as well. You realize that in different communities that we work in, the most people who are actually taking care of highest number of children, abandoned children, are elderly people. But the support they receive from people like me and you who are living in the city centers is less, 0.01%, if not 0.001%, meaning that their survival rate is always low. That's why we go ahead to bring on board different initiatives or programs that target the elderly, mostly women, of course, who are taking care of the highest percentage of abandoned children, the ones whom we call .com children. Then the centers that we go ahead to introduce, we have two centers, the Teenage Center, which looks at pregnant teenage girls. Then the one for Caring Hand looks at abandoned children or vulnerable children who have no guardians to take care of them. And these are provided with basic needs of life and also supported back to school upon, of course, let's say giving birth or when there is need. But due to the current situation, some of the things are unable to be implemented because of the COVID situation and the closure of schools. Then another amazing program, which is of course our last, is the Maisha Mzuri program, which targets, of course, university scholars from within and around the globe who come and share what they have in their mind, what they would like to put on board. And this is done through exchange programs and also capacity building, which we offer to them in order to enhance their understanding and also their adaptability, that you're not looking for white collar jobs, but rather you can be your own job creator when you're done. And also the experience we share is something that is really useful in making the world a better place. It has been nice. So we always have ways how we engage our partners. And this is done through different initiatives that we have on board. Asante sana. Okay, so I would like to welcome questions, if that is okay, so that how are we spread? How do we finance our programs? I know this is one of the questions that you may be having. Yes, how do we finance our programs is that we have gone ahead to build a network in different countries where we have interns, trustees, and volunteers who are actually supportive in resource mobilization, among others, that we utilize in order to implement the programs that we have on board. And also among the partners and memberships. First, Nixon.
About your work, I inspired from what you're doing. My question goes around the impact of COVID-19. As I see, so I think that's one thing that you're trying to identify with, because I think most of us have never been through and such kind of emergency or how, for lack of better words. So my question to you, how have you been able to respond to the COVID-19 within your work, and how is it impacting the future of your programming? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me respond to that as we go forward. How have we responded to COVID-19? Of course, at the first wave, the first lockdown affected WDF hardly, but to a smaller extent. Yes, we were locked down and we closed, we went back home, all of us. But how did we respond is that we had to revise our approaches. What helped us is that the clusters that were put on board, the different farmer field schools that we put in place, the VSLS that we put in place, these have been running during the lockdowns, because that's something that's sustainable, because it is managed by the people in the local communities. Now, how do you come in as an organization? We had to bring in a special program that of course provided and also to the teenage girls among us on what impact in line with COVID-19 and how best you can create more of it, rather than just sitting back and say until lockdown is done. So we went digital in simple terms.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
Digital is important, but maybe thank you very much for that. I would want to ask a follow-up question, but let me leave it to someone else to first ask, and then because we're talking about technology, especially for rural communities, I don't know how best we're able to engage with them on that, but that's just a follow-up question. Thank you very much.
How did we use to engage our communities is that we have our own call center where we follow up on our beneficiaries, especially for those whom we have their contacts up to date. So we do one-on-one weekly follow-ups. Even today, we were making follow-ups on how they are doing and how they are doing, because they rely on us as experts to the situation, even though we don't have much knowledge on it, but we go ahead to find solutions to the trending questions. Mechanism, there were online workplaces where everything is on drives and all that. And we meet on different platforms like Zoom, Google Meets, Microsoft Teams, so that now we can simplify our work and make it more flexible. Without these, we would have closed actually in 2020 when the first lockdown happened. But we kept on trending because of the impact and also going digital. So we adopt to change because we will aim at building resilient communities. Asante. Another question, please. Should I assume that you have all understood?
It has been a great presentation with good work.
Asante.
I think members are taking it in, all of it. They are digesting it. That was wonderful. We have 10 minutes left.
All right. So if you ask how do we engage our partners, is that we work with them in different ways. And one of the ways how we work with our partners and consortium members is assisting us in identifying knowledge resources needed in the region to enhance empowerment of all gender, men, women, youth, and children. Youth refers to boys and girls, adolescents, and all that. We also look at assisting us in developing creative fundraising campaigns or strategies that are really amazing and impactful. Communications, we look at also working with our partners in helping us in drafting training manuals in favor of our programs, of course, in line with their mission, vision, and objectives. Because being a community-led entity, we believe in the power of inclusivity in programming, and also content development, be it publication. When we share about our work, we are always happy. And also identifying when it comes to donor mapping and creative grant proposal writing. I know that different consortium members are always writing joint proposals. So whenever you have an opportunity, please always reach out to us. We are always happy to be part of that. The challenge at the moment has been, of course, on resource mobilization. That one we cannot lie. So we mostly rely on givings and also ministerial support, be it consortium member support on different programs. Then when it comes to grants, of course, there have been small grants, 20,000, 50,000, which are not enough to do the impact that we need. So we'd like to win that bigger grant with MCLD, like 300,000, things like that, so that we can make the impact that we want. Thank you very much. I look forward to hear more.
Thank you so much, Jokers. Thank you very much. I would like to add to respond to what Jokers was saying, that that he would like to see MCLD running into a consortium together with members, and we are applying for huge funds of money. Yes, we are considering looking that way. Actually, in our strategic plan, this is not MCLD strategic plan, it is the THP strategic plan. And considering that MCLD is under the Hunger Project, we go with the same strategic plan. And one of the aspects being considered in the plan come 2022, 2026, no, 2027, we are looking at resource mobilization as a key aspect to put into practice. And I would like to communicate that last week, we submitted a request for information to USAID, and hopefully that they will come back to us and seek a proposal. I really hope they will, because it was a good concept that we put in, and it was directly in line what they were interested in. They were looking at community structures, like what MCLD is, a structure that brings together local civil society organizations, particularly CBOs, and seeing how best to support them to develop into institutions that can change the lives of communities. And this falls into our shift the power concept. That is how I came in to share with you a message via our platform that we have been engaging USAID for quite some time to see how best they can move from financing big organizations to local organizations, not entirely moving there, not entirely shifting, but they need to sample it and see how best it can work. So actually we were talking recently with Dr. Daisy, and she was saying, as members of MCLD, we need to see how best to build our capacity, in the sense that as we advocate that the big institutions shift the money to the small institutions, we have the capacity to manage the grants. It won't go down well if USAID funds MCLD and we put money into our CBOs, our members, and they are not able to handle it properly. It will not go down well. So we need to look into situations where we build, strengthen our capacity in a sense that we can handle finances and bring results that are value to the level of the money that is being given to us. So actually, this brings me into the announcements I was supposed to be making. Yes. So we are nurturing that relationship, and they are launching a local capacity development policy. USAID is launching a local capacity development policy globally, wherever it has its investment, in a sense that they are going to see how functional it is to begin working with small civil society organizations. That is where they are moving into. So after they have launched the local capacity policy, as MCLD, we have sought their time and I will call it an appointment to come sit with us and listen to what we have to say in that regard. So we shall be having a meeting where we will, let me call it a workshop, where we'll bring in ideas that we will table to them. And these will be basically indicating our capacity as CBOs, as local entities, to manage funds, to manage projects, and to bring value into the communities. Yeah, that is one of those aspects I wanted to share with you. The other item I wanted to share, you can always come back to me and ask any question if you want to. But you allow me to share this last one. MCLD did receive a small funding, and in this funding, we are supposed to be generating evidence of CLD. And I would like to ask you members that if you feel that you have case studies of CLD in practice in your community, among your targeted communities, those you are working with, like the communities that Willmar has just been sharing with us, youth groups or women groups, women in the village serving groups, how they have profited from this money, how they are injecting in back their money and all that much. And you feel it is a community-led, it's a community-led initiative. Let us know, because come next week, within November, we need to capture videos of CLD in practice. And I would like to share with you members that these opportunities, you shouldn't let go if you really feel that you have the chance to participate in them, because come next year, we are intending to bring together international organizations as well as government entities in a setting together. And we want to present to them these videos to show them that CLD actually works. So this is a bonus for you as a CBO, as an NGO, or a CSO to be presented in the face of international organization. This would be a beginning for you to actually even share more of your information. And this particular information will still be on the THP website, on the MCLD website. It will be presented and it will be viewed. So if you feel that you have such case studies, such experiences within your community, spearheaded by you, the institution, let us know so that we can come in next month and we capture this together and we see how to make it better and accessible, viewed on TV, shared on social media. This is what we are looking out for. Those are the two announcements I had to share with you members. If you have any questions, please let me know so I can answer them.
I think silence means that everyone has understood. So we look forward to participate more and share about our work. So maybe the last one, because and how people can be part, that we do offer trainings, of course, at your cost. You facilitate us to train your members, be it mushroom growing, any of our programs that we have on board. We can co-implement, and also these have been things that we've been doing. So never hesitate to say, oh, they are expensive. No, we are not. Your budget stands in for you. We believe in impact more than the money, because it's self-sacrifice that makes the impact. Otherwise, it has been nice interacting with all of you, and I look forward to learn more with time. Asante sana, Joanna and MCLD.
Thank you. We would like to add members who will be coming up next.
Amani Initiative.
Amani Initiatives. Nixon, do you have any objection to that?
None at all. I think to be an honor to present about our work. And I think I have someone to present on behalf of an initiative. And maybe just as the chair, I just want to thank Jocas for taking the opportunity to start this very important journey and request other members on the call and those who are not on the call to use these opportunities to showcase your work. As like any NCSO out there, the most important thing you can always have is promote your work. And this is one of the opportunities we can always be part of. So looking forward to having more of these engagements and also benefiting from them in terms of what you can do as an organization, but also how this can also sell you. So I'm hoping to have these opportunities when you go out of just CLD. So thank you very much. Have a blessed weekend.
Thank you too. The next engagement is on the 26th of November. And lastly, I would like to share with you members that I am thinking that I have been tickled by this, and I am thinking that maybe I will seek out support and see how we can create a YouTube channel and post this kind of, I don't know if members agree to it, so we can post these engagements on a regular basis, on a monthly basis. I don't know if it's or...
That one is perfect.
All right. We have come to the end of the meeting. Members, I thank you so much for being here today. The next engagement is on the 26th of November, and I really apologize for starting late. I wish you a good weekend.
You too.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye, members.